This video will help you to make calculations on the fx-991CW. You will find the key steps on the screen and I will demonstrate them live. Calculations are made in the Calculate app. If necessary, press the Home key and then choose the Calculate app with OK or the Execute key. The calculations we will make are on the right of the screen. Let's start with a percentage calculation which we can do as a fraction. Press the fraction key and enter the numerator 600. Scroll down and enter the denominator, which we can enter more easily in standard form, 168 times 10 to the power of 6. A percentage is out of 100, so scroll right out of the fraction and multiply by 100. Complete the calculation with the Execute key or OK. The answer is given as a fraction, but will be more useful as an ordinary number, so press Format and choose Decimal. The calculator displays the answer in standard form. This is because, by default, decimals smaller than 1/100th are displayed in standard form. You can change this. Press Settings and choose Calculator Settings, the first option, and then Number Format. Scroll down and choose Norm. Now select Norm 2, which displays very small numbers down to 1/1,000,000th in decimal form. Press back 3 times to return to the calculation screen. Format your calculation as before as a decimal. This time the calculator displays an ordinary number. You can edit this calculation to find the proportion of blackbirds in the second example. Use the left or the right scroll keys to move the cursor to the position at the end of the numerator and delete it. Now enter the new numerator, 12.5 million or times 10 to the power of 6. You can enter this as separate keys if you prefer, multiplied by 10 to the power of 6 instead of using the times 10 to the power of key. Complete the calculation with the Execute key and format as a decimal as before. By default, the calculator displays answers as fractions if possible. If you wish to always have decimal answers, you can change this as well. Press Settings, choose Calculator Settings as before, and then Input Output. Scroll down to Mathi Decimal O. This means enter numbers in maths form and display answers as decimals. Choose this option with OK and you will see that the selection circle is filled. Press back 3 times to return to the calculation screen. Let's put this into practice. We will calculate the length of the hypotenuse of the triangle in example 3. Start by calculating the sum of the squares of the two given sides, 2 squared plus 3.5 squared, and complete the calculation. We need the square root of this sum, so press square root and then ans. This brings forward the exact value of the previous sum and also avoids keying errors. Complete the calculation with the Execute key as always. The answer is given as a decimal because we have set this as our preference. However, if you need the exact form, press Format and choose Standard, the first option. The calculator displays the exact value, root 65/2. Ans is one of the memory stores, but there are others. Let's take a look. There is a tank in the diagram in example 4 on the right. To find the circumference of the tank, we must first find the radius. I have rearranged the formula for the volume of a cylinder to allow us to do this. Start with a fraction and enter the volume 2000 in the numerator. Scroll down to the denominator and enter the height 13 and then multiply by pi, which is shift 7. Now complete the calculation. We will need this value later, so we can store it to use the exact value rather than rounding. Do this by pressing Variable, choosing a memory store, perhaps A, and then confirm with Store. We have found the square of the radius and need just the radius. To find this, press square root and then recall the value in memory A, which is shift 4, and press the Execute key. We could store this value for the radius as well before calculating the circumference, but we only need to multiply by 2 pi. So press multiply and the calculator brings forward the value of the radius as ounce. Now enter 2 pi, which is shift 7, and the circumference is 44.0 meters to 3 significant figures. Remember, you should always show your working and write down the full answer. If you do have to round it, this can be done at the end after writing the full value. I hope that this is useful for you in getting started with calculations on the fx-991CW. There are many other videos with more detail on fractions, memory and standard form, and also on different types of calculations, so why not explore them?